We all want to find meaning in our lives. We all seek a bigger purpose for our existence, but the universe is cruel because it will never respond to our questions regarding the meaning behind our existence. Yet, although ironic, one of humans' greatest strengths is our ability to continuously try to find meaning in a world that is probably devoid of one. If you are one of those who feel like life is meaningless, don't give up just yet, because meaning isn't something the universe hands out to us. Instead, we must actively seek for it, even if we are aware that it may not have meaning in the first place. So, if you wish to attempt to give your life meaning in this meaningless universe, then I can guide you on how to achieve just that. We all have reasons to do something. The main motivator behind our actions is usually driven by the need for money. There is nothing wrong with it because we require money for survival and to take care of people around us, so it's natural for us to seek financial gains from our activities. However, we may be blinded by money. In a sense, money is no longer a means to an end, but the end itself. We may have come to seek money for the sake of money itself, instead of seeking money to obtain other things such as food, shelter, or healthcare. There is a certain sense of nobility in wealth accumulation, but most of the time, we ruin our own happiness by chasing wealth. We falsely believe that money can give us meaning in our lives. This, however, is a narrative that is crafted by society and by those around us who are probably no smarter than us. They too don't know the meaning of their life, so they turn to the capitalistic mindset as a coping mechanism that they hope will have an answer for them. It is no fault of our own if we want to buy into the same mindset that money should be the end goal of our life, but if you wish to find true meaning, then the old mindset must be removed. Everything we are taught about money should be discarded before we can find an answer. So sit by yourself and think, if money wasn't a problem, what would you do? Would you continue to go to the job that you hate just because you have bills to pay? Would you continue to buy things just to show people that you have money? Or would you pick up that hobby you used to enjoy and do it every single day? These are hard questions that you should ask yourself if you want to find meaning in your existence. I know different people have different circumstances, but this is merely a mental activity for you to do from time to time, so that you wouldn't blindly buy into social values just because everyone around you is doing the same. It's okay to be different. It's okay if you don't want to seek wealth. It's okay to not fit in all the time. I touched on hobbies earlier, but what are you passionate about? We have all heard the advice to follow our passion, but the reality is that many of us don't even have a passion, or at least we may have lost passion for things as we continue to grow up. Although it's cliché, passion is a good way to validate our own existence, at least to ourselves. The pursuit of passion is one way to give our life meaning. Getting better every day at the thing we love to do is one of the greatest feelings that we will ever experience. Another great thing about passion is that the beauty does not lie only the result, but the act of doing it itself is what gives us meaning. For instance, a painter finds meaning when he paints, not only when he finishes the project. The same goes for a writer and a singer. But how do we find our passion? No one is born with an innate set of passions. We are the product of our environment, so our passion usually stems from wanting to be as good as those around us, or as our heroes. Some may look at Ronaldo and want to replicate his football skills, or some may look up to Michael Jordan or Mike Tyson. This desire to be like somebody is usually the first step to ignite the passion within many of us. First, identify who you want to be like. It doesn't matter who, whether that be a rock star, philosopher of antiquity, or even great ruler of the past. Recall who you look up to, then finding your passion is easy. But if you don't have someone who you look up to, then there is another method, which is to try as many things as possible. No one really knows what they are passionate about. No one really knows what they are passionate about until they try, and that includes you. Pick something you think you will enjoy, then do it. If it's tennis, then try tennis. If it is writing, then write. Counterintuitively, most of the time, passion comes after we get good at something. You just don't wake up one day and say you are passionate about basketball. You first pick up the ball, then you get good, and then you become passionate. So try as many things as possible. If you think that thing isn't your true calling, then drop it and pick something else. This long process of trial and error is necessary if you want to find your purpose in this life, so don't give up if you can't find passion immediately. For example, Vincent van Gogh. We may remember him as one of the greatest painters because of some of his most profound artworks that lived on until today, such as Starry Night. But Van Gogh didn't start pursuing painting until the age of 27, and prior to this, he thought being a lay preacher was his true calling, only to give it up after some time. That is not to say that you can only have one purpose in life, but it's merely reflecting on the fact that our passion may change as circumstances in our lives change. So, it's normal to find passion in one thing one day and find it in another thing the next day. The truth of the matter is, we just have to try until it clicks. Your passion doesn't have to be something that will yield you economic profit, because life isn't about the accumulation of wealth. However, if you could achieve both, then that's even better. One of the hardest things that we can do is to spend alone time and just think. We are so accustomed to being surrounded by people or scrolling on social media that we have forgotten what's like to truly be alone with ourselves. When was the last time you were alone with your own thoughts? No phone and no music playing in the background. You probably can't recall it because you have gotten used to doing something all the time. If you are not working, then you are probably stimulating your brain with TikTok or YouTube or some TV shows to keep you entertained. But this is preventing you from understanding your true self, because your brain never stops being stimulated. You may never get to know your identity that is beyond your family name or your occupation. If you are stripped of your name and your job position, then can you answer the question of, who am I? The answer is probably no. That is because we never really take the time to explore who we are beyond the front we put on for people to see. So, find some time and put your phone down. Sit alone or go for a walk without any music and just think. Get comfortable with being with yourselves. This will teach you a lot, not just about yourself and your motivation, but also about what life means to you. There are no external things that can bring you closer to finding your purpose other than yourself. It is not an exaggeration when I say that once you stop trying to kill your boredom with external stimulation and begin to get comfortable in silence, it will change your perspective on life. You will begin to discover what you never even know about yourself before. This will help you understand what is your purpose in this life. This is merely a short guide, as there are more nuances that I didn't touch upon, but one thing we have to understand is that we are free to choose whatever meaning we want to prescribe to our existence. No one is born with an innate purpose, which makes it both a blessing and a curse. You can stop watching this video now and go do something productive with your life.